Welcome back, guys, to another 1v1 Beyond All Reason casting episode. My name's Panda. I'm your number one casting man. Number one because I am the best there ever will be, and number one because I am the best that there is at the moment. Anyway, let's get into this casting episode. So first of all, we have DmE, Heavywater, DmE, indicating his clan there. And we also have DmE Zeeburg. So we've got an inter-clan bout. Punch up. So let's see how this is going to work out. So it looks like we have Cortex on both sides here. That is kind of more of a common theme you're seeing nowadays. This game was a day ago of this recording, and you're just seeing a lot more Cortex. Cortex is better in these 1v1s as they tend to go a lot later, and Cortex has the ability to use the metal that is on these maps. You'll see Armada more, which is the other faction, in lower metal maps, but since you have these nodes, 2 each on these nodes, and the halfway line on this map is about here. Oops. Do not ever let me draw a line. But that's a lot of metal. So Cortex is definitely the pick for this map, in my opinion. Now, I'm not the best at this game. So, we will see. We're going to learn together, essentially. That's why I do these videos. We're going to learn the game together, bit by bit, and become better gamers. Become the best gamers there ever was. It looks like both with a bot lab here. Now, bot lab or vehicle lab on this map, although it is very flat, it doesn't really matter too much because the planes are quite simple. As in, you have these lanes and these chokes. There's not really much point in going vehicles because you can pop down some bots in a line and it's not really going to do much, which is what you're seeing from Zeeburg. He's just going to put his units in a line, and that means he's not going to be able to get flanked. You also have the possibility of this as well, where bots can actually go up hills and go down them more easily than vehicles. Looks like we have kind of got a stabbing unit. I don't know what to call it. Reminds me of Trafalgar Square. Not Trafalgar Square. The Battle of Trafalgar. I'm very tired today, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. As the line of grunts breaks into the Spanish line of grunts. Or the French line of grunts, I should say. Yeah, look, my history isn't going to be great when I'm tired, alright? It kind of goes downhill. Now, Heavywater really kind of punishing Zeeburg here. Now, the OS of these players is a little bit lower than what we'd normally see. But it's not too bad. And I like this map, so I think it kind of gives the basics here. But it looks like Heavywater, there's a lot of units in the side of Zeeburg's base. Zeeburg desperately trying to expand with his commander. Now these grunts here are going to be running in to the commander. The ones with the base finally being dealt with. Now we're going to see those get pulled away and probably drawn through this flank here. Heavywater doesn't really have to worry about any sort of counterattack. He knows he's taken out the energy, and energy quite a valuable source here in this game. Now, the worst problem you want to have is overflowing energy. Overflowing metal, really bad. But overflowing energy, not great at all. Because with energy, sorry, there's a fly. With energy, you can always build energy transfers, any converters. So having overflowing energy is always going to be a problem. So realistically, what you want to be doing is punishing your opponent's energy. The metal, it does matter. but the energy is really where you want to hit home. So Heavywater, understanding that, is going to be just continuously punishing Zeeburg until Zeeburg can sort his base out. He's going to be in a disadvantaged position. We're seeing a line of grunts being formed here. Now, the good thing about this game, unlike a lot of other games, these dead... Okay, maybe I shouldn't say dead so early in the video, but these defiled corpses... Okay, maybe not corpses either. These defiled, these wreckages can be revived and sent back at Heavywater. So Heavywater ideally doesn't want to be sending in too many units for them to just die. But he's really getting a lot of value here. This is amazing micro from Heavywater. Zeeburg just not on the uptake. And that construction buy is a huge hit. Those take a lot longer to be constructed. Now we're seeing a Grave Robber come out now. So that Grave Robber is going to revive or reclaim this metal. Some more grunts coming in here. This map is quite hard to see, isn't it? The different colours. So I'm just going to turn on vision here for Heavywater, just so that you can see what he sees as he's entering Zeeburg's base. Zeeburg's commander is really pushed up here. It's quite good, as it's going to push Heavywater to have to make the plays, essentially, so that he can expand. Whereas Zeeburg, already having expanded, he just has to defend it. So we're going to see if Zeeburg can actually do that, or if Heavywater is going to take the advantage here. Got a big group of grunts here. I will say one problem with Cortex on Cortex gameplay is very like stats based. Because in the early game there's no plasma or projectiles, it's all lasers. It's just who has more of what. And if you have it in the right place. So Zeeburg taking control more of the map, but that means he's going to have to spend more resources to defend it. Looks like he is effectively controlling Heavywater here, though. Boxing him in on this left side. He's not really paying attention too much. Looks like he has just realised, though, and is going to try and push round on this side. Because in this game, you don't really have to match units. I mean, especially in these higher level ones, you probably do. Or you have to do more often, I should say. But as to stop leaks. But most of the time, you can just go ignore your enemy's army and go round, because by the time they realise you're over here, they're going to send their army in. You've already created a new army, and they haven't done anything over here. So kind of ignoring the enemy army is the best situation. But again, in these pro games, they kind of have to expect a little bit better quality teammate opponents, and matching their armies is going to do best. Zeeburg doing a very good job in coming back in this game, as you can see from the top right stats. Fairly close. The metal is in Heavywater's favour by quite a bit. There's a little cheeky outpost over there. Will be taken out. Takes out quite a few of those grunts. Now, I was about to say, Zeeburg really needs to be punishing this. This army cannot be allowed to be down here. He needs to not push into the commander, and possibly push round the commander. It looks like he's not having enough time to do that, but he has made the transfer over to thugs. Same as Heavywater here as well. This is quite interesting. You don't normally see these walls of LLTs. Heavywater cancelling that queue there. But into thugs, LLTs are not going to do anything. I really think this is a waste of metal. Zeeburg now sending an excursion force, which is not going to be met by anything but rocket bots, and rocket bots are going to feebly die to these grunts. Stupid rocket. I have a me and Beast have a flipping at these rocket bots. They're so cringe. No, I'm gonna stand there and shoot me rocket. This looks like it's not going to do much, so we're going to have a look at this excursion force from Heavywater. Zeeburg's commander moving to match that. Now, Heavywater's commander really doing a good job here of zoning out this army. He knows his commander needs to be here. If this commander moves, this army's going straight in. So he needs to keep it there. Do a very good job of zoning that out. And it's actually allowing Heavywater's army to sneak by. Like I said, you don't really want to be matching forces in this game, but you can, for example, like Heavywater's done, use your commander to do the exact same thing, especially in this early game. Construction mod dying, unfortunately. Fortunately for Heavywater, though. Now you see all these units with a halo on top, they're all revived. They were previously Heavywater's units and now have switched sides. Lots happening here now. Oh my goodness. So much happening on this map. Now we've just gone air from Heavywater, so we're going to see the same from Zeeburg soon. But there should be some shurikens around here somewhere. Here they are. Now these are stun units. Zeeburg actually isn't aware, but is going to pop down that factory. You normally see air around 7 to 9 minutes. Don't know why I went like that, but that hey-ho. Here come the shurikens. We've got some anti-air bots. Or an anti-air turret at least. So shurikens are going to be ineffective. Now both players probably just going to stack fighters here. So neither has the opportunity to get a bombing run. And these grave robbers are going to be sent into space by these thugs. Now, if you're struggling with... Hang on. As you can see, the commander just blasting through these grunts. Heavywater selecting all of his grunts here to move through on Zeeburg's side. They're all going to die. That's kind of a microing issue from Heavywater. He's just going to have all of his units die. A massive wall of LLTs going up. The shurikens are coming in. They're actually helping out quite a lot. I will say that the fight did go to Zeeburg's side. None of those grunts are going to make it through. Zeeburg done a very good job handling those units. Heavywater just dragging his units over here is just not going to do anything. He's spamming more grunts, but it is slowly whistling down Zeeburg's army. I mean, what I think he was trying to do there was take advantage of the fact that Zeeburg was not building any units and was actually building a factory, an air factory. But it really didn't work out for him. Not microed that well enough. What I was going to say though is if you are struggling with rocket bots, as Armada, one of the ways I found that you can deal with them is using Centurions and rocket bots with them, or Centurions and Maces. You have the Centurion in front, dodge the rockets, and then you have everything else at the back shooting. And the Centurion itself will shoot as well. But the rocket bots aren't fast enough to be able to fire at a Centurion. And if it does get hit, it doesn't die instantly. So, I found that is very effective. Excuse me. Right, these thugs are going to push into the base here. Now these LLTs are going to be absolutely useless. Basically newspaper. Basically just bloody newspaper. Here goes the thugs. Tearing through. Now thugs will win into grunts. I see a lot of these grunts die here. That's why I wasn't really agreeing with the grunt spam. Over on this left side, we've got a single rocket bot fighting a twin guard. Twin guards do have more range than a normal LLT. Getting inched forward. I don't know if that's deliberate or not. There we go. Right, to focus back on the actual fight at hand. Zeeburg's commander is rotating to the west side. Likely going to start pushing through here. Looks like we've had a switch over to vehicles from Zeeburg. We're probably going to see that soon from Heavywater as well, as bots do not seem to be cutting it. This later game, you really need to be using that metal, so if he's not heading into tier 2, he's just going to go for vehicles. Vehicles are a little bit more metal intensive as well as energy. Now that medium tank getting sent sky high. Now the aim of the game here is to kill the commander, so Heavywater's in a little bit of a precarious situation. Now again, this is looking like sweeping Zeeburg wins. He can just bring his whole army through here. Destroy 1, 2, 3 metal extractors. Massively in the lead here from Zeeburg. Now I'm either going to see a tier 2 or vehicles as well. Now, Heavywater does not realize he has the air superiority, but I would like to see him use it. Just to test the waters a little bit. Send a couple fighters in. See how it goes. Possibly get some vision on the base. Potential bombing runs. Now it's just a thug face-off. These thugs are really damaged. And these twin guards will be able to deal with the thugs pretty effectively. Got the grave robbers in the back, reviving those units. You do want to be careful with those, as they do tend to get overrun when your lines have to give the ground. Looks like he was trying to stop that grave robber from dying, but just ended up in the middle of Heavywater's lines. Doesn't matter though, he was outnumbered. Getting some grunts coming in now. Zeeburg just isn't close enough. His factories aren't close enough. A lot of reclaim on the field here. This is looking really bad if Zeeburg loses this. He's trying to do all he can to stop that eventuality. Looks like we've got some pounders coming out now. Pounders are, even though they are anti-swarm, are actually quite useful tanks because they shoot direct plasma. And they're fairly decently ranged. And quite tanky. There goes some grave robbers. You really don't want to lose this area. Really don't want to lose that. That's kind of the area of contention right now. These pounders doing some big damage. Grunts going in for the flank. You always want to be thinking about the flank, You don't want to just keep sending units into a meat grinder. You always want to be thinking, can I get around these units? This wall of LLTs is going to stop the grunt spam, which is quite useful. Heavywater going for another flank here as well. Yeah, I've got some bombers here from Zeeburg. Seems like at some point he did send his fighters in. Because there are a lot less fighters on the field now. Now Heavywater is slowly winning this. As these LLTs build up though. Yeah, it is quite a toxic one. It's just LLT spam. I mean, when we get the tier 2, all of those LLTs aren't going to matter. I do agree though, this game is a little bit toxic. It's just kind of tier 1 spam. Problem with going tier 2 is, although you do get a massive power advantage, you do have to give up that time as you're building it not to build any more troops. Now, if Zeeburg can just use his commander to suck this all up instead of trying to revive it, there we go. That'll be much... Oh! That rocket bot has it out for those grave robbers. A revived grave robber. A robbed grave of a grave robber. Now, as you can see, we've got a flank here from Zeeburg. But we've got a defending force. Now, a Dragonsborn is going to do some dirty work against these forces. Zeeburg looking in a little bit of a precarious situation. We've got T2. What's the first T2 unit we've got coming out here? I can't actually tell what the hell that is. Oh, the combat engineer. So it looks like we're getting some eco out from Heavywater instead of the units. He's had a big breakthrough of grunts here. Oh, just getting obliterated. They're going to fall down the hole. Oh dear. Okay. Well, I mean, this is a new map. I've never seen that before. Not a new map in the game, just a new map for me personally. And a new map for the channel. For the community. These twin guards getting torn up. Now, is Zeeburg going to get the tier 2 as well? Yep. He's going tier 2 vehicles. Which is, in my opinion, full Cortex. Now, for Armada, I would say the vehicles are a lot better than the bots. However, for Cortex, I actually think... I mean, you have the Tsar, you have the Sheldon. Sheldon, the Sumo, the Mammoth. I think bots for Cortex is probably just better. And that's not based off of really anything. Kind of just my personal opinion. So take that with a tiny weeny grain of salt. But I think Cortex bots is going to be better, more applicable for this map. At least in my opinion, especially since it's kind of line driven. Sheldon's big artillery, as well as you obviously have the Mammoth, which is kind of slow moving, can hold points. So I think bots are probably more applicable for tier 2. Now again, both getting really punished here for going tier 2 in terms of unit production. Now we're seeing Fiends from Heavywater. I'd say kind of anti-swarm. But I don't think it's going to do too well against them, the assault tanks. It's quite satisfying seeing the D gun being used. And these pounders pounding the back of these assault tanks. Guys, I'm so tired. Ignore me. Anyway, I want to see Sheldons. Look, I hate Sheldons as much as the next person, but you gotta admit that they're quite satisfying to watch. Banishers are going to be quite good. I will say. I always forget about the Banisher. Oh, apologies for that. Now we're getting a reclaim switch to vehicles. Let me know what you think of in the comments down below. What you think of that from the bots to vehicle switch. That's quite interesting. I think he should have just stuck with bots. The Banisher's good and all. I think it's a bit late to be trying to switch. It's rolling out the Tigers. Definitely not too late. Definitely not too late. Now the Fiend's going in. Getting taken out, getting bombarded. Now, building a construction vehicle. He already has one on the front. I'm not entirely sure what that is for, if I'm honest with you guys. These Banishers coming in. Banisher is a lovely choice here. Long range, gonna hold these lines down. Yeah, I'd like to see some Tigers. I would have liked to see the bots this game, really. I really want this Persecutor to live, otherwise this Banishers are just gonna keep on punishing. Keep on banishing. Okay, there we go, there's the Persecutor. Now we're probably gonna be seeing a little bit of a push here from Zeeburg, and that's the game. Bang! Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of the game, and I'll see you in the next one.